Hi and welcome to another POTA with me at the Trent Washlands, or I think it's listed on POTA as the Burton-upon-Trent Washlands. Burton-on-Trent, famous for brewing, arguably the once upon a time and maybe still today the brewing capital of the UK. An IPA, if you drink it, was invented by some monks not that far from here at a place called Sinfin House. Also, Burton-on-Trent has got the name, or was named by the Chief Constable of Staffordshire at the time, Sir Charles Kelly, as the pimple on the arse of Staffordshire. This gives you an idea of the park, an antenna not set up, but you've got the Trent, which is literally there, the River Trent, and that's it, it flows through. So there's a town built on. Interesting town, Burton, because it faces away from the river instead of in, and these washlands are effectively, there's a guy setting up what looks like some sort of winged vehicle. Apologies for those people that are really into that hobby. I should have looked it up, but it's really great setup. You've got windsock and everything. You can see there's hardly any wind, which is mega for what's going on here. My mag mount on the back of the Tesla, because it's not that good in very strong winds. That will be interesting there because it shouldn't cause any problems. I'm vertical, and once again, this is Dave not using the trees around him because he forgot his blimmin' coax, but he has his long wire. Right, so I'll set up this, get this antenna the right length, this antenna, get the VNA sorted out, all that sort of stuff, get it tuned in and start operating. And it's WWA, have a Google of that, World Amateur Radio thing a lot of people are collecting. I was collecting them yesterday by accident. Let's say I get on today so I can report something positive to the lads at the South Derbyshire and Ashburn in the Wolds Radio Club, which of course is arguably the greatest radio club on earth. Anyway, more a little bit later when I start actually using the radio. See you in a bit. This is the M1 ECC coil. I'm just playing about. I have put this rod above here before and it's worked okay. As you know, these usually base fed coils are a bit lossy, not perfect, and we're vertical near all sorts of town centres. So literally town centres just back behind me, all sorts of problems. That's the AliExpress whip that I find works much better than the M1 ECC whip. It's plenty of sirens going off here. That's the best we can get it at the moment. 1.5 to 1, which is okay. Impedance isn't brilliant. So this thing has what I call the POTA principle for getting SWR'd, which is pain in the arse. It's, yeah. Anyway, better with this whip to tune, and I can pull the whip up and down as well for tuning. But yeah, it'll do, and we're on the 40 metre band, so let's see how we get on starting off there. Update on Kite Man. Despite the lack of wind, he's trying to get off the ground. I was just talking to a guy who's got some working dogs, very sensibly, because it's about 30 degrees out here. Can't really tell the sun. Yeah, here we go, we've got some activity. This guy's a bit good. Let's see how he gets on. He'll start running fast. Fascinating. Anyway, back to radio. Right, you're probably thinking, and this is thoughts in the car, what's he on about? M1cc coil, or any particular coil at the base of an antenna being lossy? Well, here's something you can do. Now, you can go and get all the modelling software, but funnily enough, a lot of the AI, and I've noticed ChatGPT, piggybacks all that stuff. So you can put, I have a DX commander, I have an M1cc ECC antenna with a foldable military whip, I have this, I have that, I have the other. And what it will do is it gets the information and you say, I want to transmit from this place, this is what the soil's like, this is what's around it, this is where it is in the country, all that, and it will give you which one will be the most effective. And for example, I tested it on base loaded coils and it came back with what we know is they can be lossy. So you can tune for multiple bands. Having a VNA like my MFJ in the back, you can tune for different bands and all that sort of stuff. I'd be really lazy and use an ATU, but I wouldn't recommend it. But anyway, so what you could do is you could do all that and it tells you the optimum antenna, which is essentially, and this makes sense, right? I think Callum at DX Commander talked a bit about this. If you're playing a musical instrument, for example, let's say, I think he used a piano, I'll use a double bass. You wouldn't have a shortened neck double bass or a shortened double bass with coil loaded strings at the bottom. It'd all be a bit weird and your sound would be very lossy. Sound, waveform, it's exactly the same principle with antennas. So therefore what you really want and what we all really want is as much antenna as possible tuned very accurately to that band. So there you go. However, for just convenience and working multiple bands, this is okay, but sometimes you need a little bit more wattage than, let's say, total QRP. Calling. Thank you very much, Germany on 40 meters. I'm getting lots of contact from Germany, so brilliant. Keep it up. And like on all my activations, there's just a few countries that are really speedy and really into POTA. So we've spotted ourselves. Germany have contacted me. Love it when you see a station coming through with a D at the start. You know, they're super keen and they're brilliant and fantastic amateurs. So thank you very much for supporting this, and I'll let you know what's going on as we go along. Probably see kite guy in the background. He's doing his best. Well, aerofoil, whatever. You tell me, what is it? It's really interesting, but unfortunately, a little bit of wind building up, but nothing spectacular. Let me just show you what I've done with the antenna. Move the rod round, move the rod to the top. Had some success with this in the past, relative success. Got my leaky coil here, SWR's 1.8 to 1, not happy with that. Got the rod on, the telescopic whip from AliExpress. That's the little adapter, by the way, is from AliExpress as well. I have got my mate Al Murray's version. But I've picked this up, it was £5 imported. It's a beautiful little bit of engineering. Anyway, so that's it. Right, so we're on there. So what we're going to do now is to try, what we're going to do now, I should say, is to try 10 megahertz and see how we get on there. I'm on 7 out of 10 at the moment. Yeah, so I'm on 7 out of 10 at the moment to get this activation. So I need to get 3 more stations. I've just worked one, just forgotten. I've just worked an SSB station by voice, one of these WWA special event stations. Went a little bit of hunting because it isn't as easy today as it was yesterday. Yesterday, using the Fire Stick, it was flipping easy as anything. 50 odd logged. Anyway, should have videoed that one, shouldn't I? Activation done. I think these people behind me are wondering what the hell I'm doing. If you wonder what that goat was, you could hear it. It's the Tesla's personalised door locking. You can have different sounds, but the purpose of this, I'm just going to show you here. Just hang on a second and I'll show you. Bristling Coat Family Walk. This is the bottom of the Bristling Coat Valley. Now that has got some height that way. Good takeoff if you go up there. There must be a park up there somewhere. But right, what I'm going to do now is spin the camera around so you can see where I've been operating from. Okay, this path goes right in that direction. I'm not sure, I think it just finishes at the lights at the, what's called the old Burton Bridge. Bit of a, could have been like a bandstandy type thing. One's going to shelter anyway. Look at that, oh, that's beautiful up there. Look at the memorial trees. Can you see? Up there, this is really well looked after. Now this path, if you follow it, takes you straight. Now say the Washlands are all the floodlands. Very sensibly, Burton doesn't build all over this like other places do. They leave it, it gets flooded with regularity. It doesn't seem at the moment how arid and dry it is. But if you follow that, you could physically walk to a place called Burton-upon-Trent Washlands, sort of, with a bit of bridge crossing and stuff like that. But you know, it's lovely to have these walkways on the edge of a town. And even though it does get criticised, Burton-upon-Trent, remember it's Burton-upon-Trent and not Burton-on-Trent, even though it does get criticised, it's actually quite a nice town. The middle of it isn't great, but what towns are great nowadays? Less of the David. Yeah, what towns are great? And this is the River Trent. The Vikings, in olden days, managed to get up this way. A place called Repton, which is down that way. I'm sure you've heard of Repton. Yeah, so all of the stuff, if you watch Vikings on Netflix, was it was the blokes that raided Repton, and we had the Viking Horde, and that was, at the time, it was I think it was actually either the capital of Mercia, because that's Tamworth is what the claims claim for that, but I think it was like the religious capital of Mercia, the old Middle English kingdom. So there you go. It was being a good POTA activation. How did you get on, Dave? You might ask. 14 in the log, maybe 15. So 14, 15 in the log. One station that called me twice, which is great, which is one of the WWA ones I probably may have mentioned. I also did a TikTok live as well with this, so I'm probably telling myself things, or telling you things twice. Anyway, yeah, so it called me, the WWA, which is, I'm honoured. I think I've worked him on POTA when he's been working under his own call sign. So if you're watching this, really appreciate it, thank you. Anyway, worked me on 2 different bands, so I'll see how the POTA app, if they count it as 2 or they count it as 1. But anyway, it's activated more than 10, got out, stayed really cool, selfishly in here, Kite man's packed in, he'd had enough, couldn't really do what he was doing, but at least he had to go. And that's it. So thanks so much. So whatever you were doing today, and whatever you're doing the rest of this week, 73s, and look out for the next video where I'll be climbing a hill.